past few months, I have been helping a few friends in applying for US schools and also US visa. And I would say these are the mistakes that they did, which you could avoid. I actually probably did these mistakes as well, and the fact that we did it doesn't mean you have to do it. So in this video, let's dive into mistakes that you could avoid when applying for your US visa. The first mistake I would say is not interviewing in your home country. It used to be very common to move from your home country to another country if the country has an available date for interview. But now, this time, wrong move is actually a very risky game you're playing. I would say out of 100%, 90% or probably 99% you're not going to get it, as there are exceptions to the rules. I have a friend who I was helping with the whole US application and also the visa, like school and then the visa, right? And I was looking for a date for her. We were both looking for a date. She was supposed to come for 4 of this year, so 4 2025, and we're not getting a date for her. So she wanted to interview in other countries, and I was like, you know what, cool. But another friend, if you remember, my friend Ben told me to tell her she shouldn't do it. She shouldn't interview in another country. But who am I? Sometimes, like, when you can't, like, you just have to put chances out there, right? So I told her, you know what, let's try. So someone told her there's an available date in Namibia and she could actually go for it. So we went for Namibia. Got there on Sunday, and the hotel she was sleeping in, she was like lodging, she met other African countries like Ethiopia, Botswana, and all people from those places, and they kept saying how they were rejected for their visa. She didn't want to have a negative mindset. She just said her case was different and she was going to get this visa. She went there. From whatever she told me, like after she called me and told me she didn't get the visa, I asked her for her interview transcript, and this is how it transpired, guys. I'm not going to tell you everything, but from everything she told me, it seems this guy wanted to give her the visa, but he just couldn't give her the visa after listening to her interview transcript. She spent so much time with this guy, and after everything, this is what the guy said, I quote, that she said, I'm sorry, I can't give you the visa today, but I would advise you to try again in your home country and you may get it. That is what she said, the guy said. Quoting. Another thing she said that the guy said was like, he doesn't really know much to decide if he wants to give it to her or not. That she said when she went, the only people that got their visas were Namibians. Namibians were the only people getting the visa, and there were only 4 Namibians on her day. The rest were all from other African countries. And after her interview, the people who came after her, who also came for the interview, they all got rejected. Just stick to your home country. Even if you're not going to get a date, defer to the next semester and keep looking for dates. It's better that way than risking your money and your time flying to another country just to get it. There are few exceptions to the rules, don't quote me, but you have a higher chance of getting it in your home country, especially now, than going somewhere else. Second mistakes people do is the DS-160, and in the DS-160 we have 3 categories: invalid, submitting too early, and submitting too late. I actually did this mistake when I was applying for my visa, and I also did the same mistake again with my friend when I was helping her with the application. And I'm sharing this so that you don't also make that mistake. You know, when you're putting in your application for your DS-160, right, there's a number that will pop up. I didn't know I had to keep that number at my time. So when I was filling my avids, as in for my emergency number to go and buy my visa at GT Bank, asked me for the number, and I didn't know the number. I didn't know I was supposed to keep that number. And at that time, the session had closed, so I couldn't access the number. I had to put in another application again. But my friend, when she was trying to fill her DS-160, she couldn't fill it, so she called me to do it for her. She was on the phone, we're doing this together. I gave her the number to also start with her a mental number, because I was distracted in helping her create that one as well as this one. I forgot to tie her information to that DS-160, and then the session closed. When we're done with that mental number and she went to buy the form, we came back to fill the DS-160 and there was nothing. It was invalid. We couldn't get her data because we didn't tie her information to that number. I had to create a new DS-160 and put in a ticket in Avits to change her DS-160, and they actually did change her DS-160 number. When you create a DS-160, put in all your information, but do not submit it. You don't need to fill all to the end, just the personal information. Save it, go out and continue whatever you want to do before you come back. Because if you don't tie your information to that number, you will not get that number again, and you have to like create a new one. I remember my time, I got my admission October 10th, and my full funding came November 11th or 12th, I guess. I don't really remember. Imagine I had submitted my DS-160 in October, I wouldn't have that information to put in again. So do not submit your DS-160 too early. Things can change. Unless, of course, you get a date, then you can submit it. And this leads to my next point is do not submit your DS-160 too late. This is also an example I want to share with you. There's this guy that reached out to me. It's my friend's brother who wanted help with the whole visa process and all that. And I'm not a professional. Disclaimer, I'm not a professional. I just did it once by the grace of God, and here I am. And one thing I told God was, like, if he helped me with all this process, I will gladly help anyone that reach out to me if I have the time. And I told him everything he needed to know. I sent him a message. I told him, do not submit it too early, but also do not submit it too late. Submit it 2 or 3 business days before your interview. When he got his dates, he reached out to me that I should help him pay his service fee. I held him out and everything. Tell me why his interview was on a Monday, right? And I paid his service fee on the Monday prior. So that's like a week before. Thinking in my head that I had paid the service fee on Monday, so it would take 2 to 3 business days for it to reflect. This guy will also go ahead and submit it because I had already given him the guidelines to whatever he needed to do. He didn't submit it until I think Friday, thinking he is done with his interview. That's the following week. And he reached out to me saying that he wasn't able to go for his interview because on the Saturday to the Monday for his interview, he received an email saying that they couldn't find his DS-160, so he can't come for his appointment. And I asked him, why didn't he submit his DS-160 early? He told me that he submitted it on the Friday and thought Saturday and Sunday will be the 2 business days. And then I was like, 2 business days, not 2 days, 2 business days. So you're supposed to have submitted it on the Monday that I even paid the service fee for you. That cost him his interview. Anyway, I said don't submit it too early. Don't submit it too late as well. If you don't submit it too early, just keep going to the system and constantly be doing minor changes for the system to know that you are actively like filling the form, and then they don't disregard your application in 30 days. Do you get what I'm saying? Finally, is not having all your documentation before your interview. Let me tell you this. When I was applying for my visa, my work colleague, who is also here in the US, the same school, same department, he told me that it's better to have all documents and not be asked than have none and be asked. You need all your documents. Don't think any document is not important. I got my study leave, I got a letter from the school, I got a letter from my workplace, I got my volunteering document, everything that ties me to Ghana, I got it. I was not even asked, and that doesn't mean you won't be asked, because there are some people who go and they're asked for documents. They will ask you for documents. I wasn't even asked for one single document. Of all the documents I sent, not even one was asked for. It is by the grace of God, like, period. My friend, the one who went to Namibia, I told her, girl, get a letter from your workplace, get a letter from this, get a letter. She was like, oh, she doesn't want her workplace to know yet. And I repeated the same message that my other colleague told me. Truly, she was asked. Everything that can tie you to your home country, have those documentation, because it may come in handy. If you're not asked, great. But if you are asked, you should have it. A pro tip that I wanted to add to this, even though it's not a mistake, a pro tip is when I was helping my friend with her application, when we bought the Ghana visa form and she had to go to Namibia for an interview, they made her pay for another MRV form. Someone told her the Ghana application is invalid. Comes to apply again, she has to buy a new visa fee. And I thought it was strange because she hadn't used the right. I went into the system. I was trying to see if I can be able to use her old one. We got a date for her using the old one without her having to buy a new form. If you applied in Ghana or your home country and then you had to move to another country to interview and you didn't get the visa, you can come back to your home country and use the old visa fee or visa application to look for a date. You just need to create a new DS-160 to tie that new DS-160 to this account, because your old DS-160, you tied it to the other account you went to interview for. Put in a ticket that I have a new DS-160 number, can you change it? And they would. So that's all I have. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video was very helpful. Let me know if you have any question. You can leave it in the comment section below and I'll gladly reply. Disclaimer, I'm not a visa agent or anything. I'm just an international student who did this by herself and told God that I'm going to brag about him if he helps me. And here I am bragging about God for being the awesome, loving Father, that I'm nothing without him. and helping people as well. So reach out to me if you need any advice. All right, see you in my next video. Bye.